Hello. So a lot of these talks have been about how to increase spending and increase use of resources. I'm actually going to take a slightly different tack and talk about how to cut costs and also how to save the resources. So I'm looking at things a little differently here. As Dr. Park mentioned, my background includes Amazon, but I also worked for an organization called Earth Economics that was associated with the United Nations, and we worked on calculating the economic benefits that nature provides. So I'm going to put a little twist on this. So I'll give a brief introduction to my current project that I'm involved with, called RChain. I'm going to give a case study example. This looks like this is the old deck. Sorry. That one takes 20 minutes instead of 10. Wait, RChain 1811, that should be it.
가장 작은 거예요.
Go forward. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to give a quick overview of the RChain blockchain protocol. I'm also the founder of RChain Asia. We're building a division of RChain specifically devoted to the region between Singapore and Korea. And I want to go over a paradigm that explains my perspective on things. And we'll just start. So RChain is actually an old project in some ways. The mathematics that underlie our protocols have been in development for 23 years, far before Bitcoin, even. And our technology leads have been collaborating for decades as well. And we also have Vlad Zamfir from the Ethereum Foundation helping us with our consensus protocol. And we're working on solving the four main problems of existing blockchain platforms. Scalability, the problem of as you get larger, many blockchains get slower. In our paradigm, as the blockchain gets larger, it actually becomes faster. We're working on solving the security problem of many of the blockchain smart contracting languages like Solidity. We're also increasing speed using some mathematical tricks and program language changes. And we're also working on the sustainability by using proof of stake instead of proof of work. And I'm going to go through 3 examples of blockchain solutions for corporate sustainability, because there are so many companies in this province that are requiring the use of natural resources and everything. I thought this would be an interesting use case to discuss. So supply chain is kind of a classic thing that people think about when they think about blockchain. And usually supply chain is thought of as a linear process, that you have producers, then consumers, and then consumers of that, and it's a linear chain. But in fact, in nature, and in fact in many economic systems, it's a circular process. So let's just take the example of water supply. So with water, you have these upstream communities. Where's the laser beam? Laser beam? I don't have a laser beam. Okay.
Not pointing with your finger.
So here we have an upstream area, like a watershed, where water is being provisioned. And there are people that manage the landscape up here, the forests and so forth. And then the water flows downstream and is used by residences or manufacturers or so forth. And people generally think of that as a closed loop. But in the payment for ecosystem services model, what happens is that the consumers of the goods actually create economic incentives to the provisioners of the goods upstream by using micropayments. And this model of payment for ecosystem services was developed before blockchain systems were developed. And when implemented, there were many cases of fraud or the provisioners not being paid properly. And consequently, there is no incentive for the provisioners upstream to really steward and take care of the landscape upstream. But if you include a blockchain solution into this, you can't create a virtuous cycle in the supply chain of water within an economy. And so there's many ways in which water security can be amplified by the use of blockchain. And you could have micropayments for water meter donations, asset-backed token systems for clean, accessible drinking water, peer-to-peer trading of excess water resources. Sometimes there's too little water, sometimes there's too much. And all this can be tracked with a blockchain-enabled water security system. Similarly, these same sorts of things can be taken care of in blockchain with respect to energy, transport, and smart cities. And our partner from Switch, Peter, before gave an example of how this can be done. And these slides are going to be available, so you can read them at your leisure. And an increasing problem, of course, is weather and disaster issues. Here in Korea and Japan, you've been hit recently by unprecedented typhoons, and those are very, very costly to deal with. And there are many ways in which blockchain implementations can help with preparing for weather disasters or dealing with it subsequently. And there are many companies that are actually implementing various sustainability blockchain solutions. And I'm proud to say that Switch, down here at the bottom, is one of our partners that is working in this realm on the RChain platform. And I'm going to keep it short because we ran out of time. So thank you.
Okay.